Michael Joseph Jackson, August 29, 1958 to June 25, 2009, was an American singer, dancer, entertainer, and recording artist. Michael Jackson epitomized the era of pop in the 70s, 80s and 90s, earning himself the title the King of Pop. He remained a global icon until his untimely death in 2009. Michael Jackson began his music career alongside his fellow brothers and family members in the Jackson 5. His career began in 1964, aged only 6. The group, led by Jackson's father, worked hard touring many clubs and bars performing their mix of Motown hits. They gained the attention of record labels, and in 1968 signed with Motown Records. It was the youngest, baby-faced Jackson that caught the eye of reviewers. Rolling Stone magazine wrote that Michael was a prodigy with overwhelming musical gifts. Michael stood out for his exceptional enthusiasm and soft, infectious musical voice. The group produced 4 #1 hit singles, including I Want You Back, ABC, and The Lover You Save. Despite achieving his goal to be a music performer, Michael's childhood was far from happy. He was regularly beaten and threatened by his authoritarian father. This legacy of abuse left Michael scarred throughout his adult life. By the late 1970s, Michael was increasingly looking to pursue a solo career. With the help of music producer Quincy Jones, Michael produced the solo album Off the Wall. The album was a great success, eventually selling over 20 million copies. The album gained much critical acclaim, and Michael secured the highest royalty rate in the music industry. 37% of album profit. His second solo album, Thriller, launched Michael Jackson into a position as the most famous pop singer in the world. With little commercial advertising and promotion, Thriller rose to #1 on album sales, and remained at the #1 spot for a total of 37 weeks. It gained one of many Guinness World Records for Michael Jackson, attaining 110 million global sales and 29 million sales in the US. Thriller included #1 hits such as Beat It, Billie Jean. In March 1983, Michael Jackson performed live on Motown 25, Yesterday, Today, Forever, a TV special. He performed his distinctive and memorable dance move, the moonwalk. In the dance routine, he effortlessly moves backwards with seemingly keeping one leg perfectly straight. His performance made him a global icon of not just music but dance. Michael Jackson pioneered the importance of music video in promoting a pop artist. This iconic performance has been compared to the famous Beatles' appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1964. Jackson's next albums were Bad, 1987, and Dangerous, 1991. His final album was Invincible, 2001. By the late 80s, there was an increasing number of stories speculating on Jackson's personal life, health and physical appearance. Michael Jackson underwent numerous operations of plastic surgery to fix his nose and add a dimple in his chin. During the 1980s, his skin started to lighten. This was due to a rare skin pigment disease, but it didn't stop a wave of speculative press stories that he was bleaching his skin color. The press covered a range of speculative stories about Michael Jackson, including imaginary stories Michael had invented himself, such as sleeping in an oxygen tent to avoid the aging process. I've been in the entertainment industry since I was 6 years old, and as Charles Dickens would say, it's been the best of times, the worst of times. But I would not change my career. While some have made deliberate attempts to hurt me, I take it in stride because I have a loving family, a strong faith and wonderful friends and fans who have, and continue, to support me. The press attention made Michael increasingly reclusive, spending much of his time in his Neverland ranch. Speaking on the Oprah Winfrey Show, Jackson addressed the issue of skin color change. Okay, #1. As I know of, there is no such thing as skin bleaching. I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help, okay? But, when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me. It's a problem for me, I can't control it. He married Lisa Marie Presley in 1994. It lasted 2 years, though they remained friendly after the divorce. In 1996, he married Deborah Rowe in Sydney. Together they had 2 children. They divorced in 1999, and Rowe gave full custody of children to Jackson. Allegations of child abuse were first raised in the 1980s and reappeared in the 1990s. This led to the trial of the People v. Jackson on January 31, 2005, in Santa Maria, California. After 5 months of high publicity, Jackson was acquitted, though the experience left him physically weak and emotionally stressed. He departed America for the Persian Gulf island of Bahrain. The minute I started breaking the all-time record in record sales, I broke Elvis records, I broke Beatles records. The minute it became the all-time best-selling album in the history of the Guinness Book of World Records, overnight they called me a freak. They called me a homosexual. They called me a child molester. They said I bleached my skin. They made everything to turn the public against me. Remarks at National Action Network headquarters, July 9, 2002. Towards the end of his life, he was increasingly plagued by money troubles and ill health. He increasingly became dependent on a variety of drugs, which was said to have contributed to his ill health and premature death. Despite concerns over finance, he is said to have made career earnings of $500 million and had assets in Sony/ATV music publishing catalog worth over $300 million alone. In a world filled with hate, we must still dare to hope. In a world filled with anger, we must still dare to comfort. In a world filled with despair, we must still dare to dream. And in a world filled with distrust, we must still dare to believe. M. Jackson, quoted by CNN, June 2009. Michael Jackson died on June 25, 2009, at a rented mansion in the district of Los Angeles.